We got kind of a rare bird for you today. Rare and because it only fits 1 year. The 1964 Ford F100 through 250 with a 6-cylinder, a 262 6-cylinder. And we're going to go through it. We just kind of pulled this one off the shelf only because it's odd. And I'll show you how it goes. It's pretty straightforward. It's an easy rebuild. We have these cans in stock. If yours kind of looks like this or is rotted through, we have the can, and a kit comes with a filter and a lot of other parts that I'll show you along the way. So sit back and relax. One of the first things you want to do is, of course, you want to mount it in a vise. It's the easiest way to work on these pumps. Keeps it stable. Everything is right there in front of you. We want to mark the casting to keep the orientation of the inlet and outlet in the same place it is when you took it off the vehicle. And you say, well, I'm going to do it right away. Well, sometimes you can't do it right away. Life gets in the way, gets put aside. Mark it somehow. Take a picture of it, draw a picture of it, do whatever you have to do. This is one of the easiest ones I've ever taken off. You usually have to get a filter wrench, put it on it, and just about crush the can to get it off. There's your filter. Remove these 10 screws. It'll give you access to the inlet and outlet valve and the diaphragm itself. Now that we got all these 10 screws done, it's stuck. Grab a putty knife, separate the two halves. Usually a few whacks will do it. And peel it apart. Here's your intake and inlet and outlet valves. And this happens to be an Airtex pump. And it looks like, yeah, I don't think anybody's been in here. Anyway, to remove this diaphragm assembly, down inside there's a link in there with a hook on it, and it hooks into a slot that's in this. So what we want to do is we want to push this down just a little bit, tip it back, and try to scoot that pull rod back to unhook it. Again, this was an easy one. They usually give you a lot of trouble. Down inside here is there's a retainer with a seal. Take a large screwdriver and just pop it out. Now these seals, this is the way the factory does it. We have a retainer and the seal sitting this way. Goes right over it and goes down inside the casting. Our seals are a little different. This edge right in here is a little smaller, and the seal goes in this way. Because it won't fit on this because that hole in the center is too small. I'll show you when the time comes, put it back together. I'll show you how that goes. If you suspect yours has a problem with the pin, or it might be worn, see if you can't twist this arm. If you can't, like this one here, then the pin is not a problem. But if you have to take it out, see this metal washer right here, it's called a D-washer. Take a chisel and cut that washer off, spread it out, and use a punch and drive the pin out. It'll come out easy enough, and you'll get to this, you'll be able to get at this spring which is the arm return spring. Its only purpose is to hold the arm, keep the arm in contact with the camshaft. It has nothing to do with the pressure. Now, like I said, here's your inlet and outlet valves. How to get these out? You have to be a little crude. Take that big screwdriver you used to take the seal out, put it down inside, push it to one side. Now see how easy that came out? This is a problem with Airtex pumps, as far as I'm concerned. Occasionally I'll get a pump in that obviously it stopped pumping, and what I'll find is these valves just pop out. I think it has to do with the heat. It gets a little warm and the valve just drops out, flips over. Sometimes it'll get crunched up by this diaphragm going up and down. Other times it just sits there. Now the spring that's on top of or underneath the diaphragm, this is where you get your pressure from. The stronger the spring, the higher the pressure. And the plates and the diaphragm. So we're going to take all this stuff over to the glass beater, clean it all up, and clear coat it, flatten out all the surfaces, and I'll show you how to put it back together. Okay, everything's all cleaned up and clear coated. All the surfaces are nice and flat. It'll make a nice seal. Won't be any problems with it leaking. In the kit you'll get 2 gaskets and 2 valves. Make sure you put the gaskets in, even though the original ones didn't use a gasket. That was just something that Airtex chose not to do. Use whatever driver you have handy. I think this is going to be 1 inch outside, and you just want something with an inside diameter that won't hit one of these rubber valves here. Just drive it till it stops. Now the depth of the hole is different on either one of these. So one of them goes with the rivet up, one goes with the rivet down. This being the inlet, fuel's going to come in here. Diaphragm's going to push it through here, and it'll be out through that. Put your gasket on. What I like to do with these particular ones is run a real thin coating of motor oil right around the outside of it. It helps it seal up. Push the filter on. Another place to put a thin coat of oil is on the threads on the inside of this can. Again, it just helps with the installation. just so that you're not running bare metal. Give it a good twist. By the way, this was that rusty can that you saw after it's been bead blasted and clear coated. Now you should be able to blow air in through this inlet and suck air out, but not suck air out through the inlet. Like that. You'll be able to pull air out, but not blow air in. Perfect. Time for the seal. Remember when I showed you earlier how the air seal comes in and goes this way with the cone part shape sitting down. This is our version of that seal. You get a retainer, aluminum retainer. It's got a cutout right inside of here that this lip on the seal fits right up into, and it goes this way. The other one was upside down. As far as I'm concerned, it was upside down. Drop it in. Use the same driver that you used to put the valves in with. Give it a couple of taps first, just to get it caught, and then make sure that that seal is right in the center. And then drive it the rest of the way. Doesn't go very far. Now, in order to keep that seal from lifting out, you can take a screwdriver, or I have a small chisel that I ground the end flat on, and just hit it in these 4 spaces, just like the factory did. You can see these lines, and it just dents the casting just enough to keep the seal from lifting, or the retainer from lifting, I should say. And that's all it needs. Put a drop of oil right in the center of that to keep that diaphragm from running dry. And this hole, facing forward towards the arm, you want to hook that on, and you want to go, how can I do this for you? In at an angle, catch it. Remember before it was so easy to catch? Yeah. It takes a little bit, but now it's hooked on. Just to make sure that it's hooked in there, be careful, because sometimes they kind of fool you a little bit. Put an adjustable wrench on the arm, give it a couple of pulls, just run it through. Make sure it goes down inside and it doesn't jump out and go up in the air. Time for the fuel section. Find your reference mark that you made, or check your picture that you drew, or take a picture that you took. Get one screw cut on either side. Just push it through the diaphragm. Again, get your adjustable wrench, put it on the arm, pull it down just so that you can get the screw caught. Run the screw about halfway down. And put the rest of the screws in, but don't tighten anything down yet. Now for the important part. Take that arm, once you get all these screws down to the casting, which is about halfway down. Get my arm out of the way. Pull that diaphragm so that it pulls it right down inside and stops. Tighten down 4 of the screws opposite each other. Okay, I think I might have let the pressure off it a little bit. It's a little better. Tighten down the rest of the screws. Once all these 10 screws are tight, take the arm, work it back and forth. Now that first time you saw me stop and go back again, evidently I was concentrating more on tightening the screws than I was on here, and my arm relaxed and the diaphragm came back in a little bit. Loosen the screws up if that happens, so you'll notice it because you'll only get a little bit of throw out of the arm. Loosen those 4 screws up again, pull it, tighten them down. Now you can do a kind of a simple test. Is with the arm relaxed. Put your finger over the inlet and try pulling it up, and you'll feel the suction there. While it's up, as you're coming back down, block off the outlet and you'll feel pressure. You can probably hear that. What that'll tell you is that you've got a good seal around here. The valves are sealed. The filter can is sealed and no leaks. Now the vent for this, the body here has to be vented because this, if it wasn't, the diaphragm would get stuck. It'd have no place to go. So they've got the vent right in here, where normally it's on top in these 2 spots here, and these are usually drilled. But Airtex decided to do it a different way. In any event, this pump is ready. If you want to order a kit for it, what Airtex does is it uses a aluminum tag that they put on one of the screws with the part number on it. On this particular one it was number 263, and I just stamped the number in here. AC would have stamped a number on it. I don't think AC made this pump. It's a clone, and it's something that Airtex made. Anyway, call it in by number, plus give the application. Sometimes you might even have to send a picture of what you got if there's no numbers and no tag. If you want to catch us on the web, it's then-now.com. Give us a call, 781-335-8860. Like and subscribe on this video. Don't forget the little notification bell for any other videos that I might post up. That about does it. I hope this helps if you do one of these at home. If you see something that I missed, leave a comment. Let me know. I'm not perfect. Be safe out there. Thanks for watching.